Hi, everyone. My name is Armando Minjares, curator and director of Horizontes project. Horizontes was a 2017 Nine Cities Challenge winner that aimed to connect 2 underrepresented communities in Wichita, Kansas, the predominantly Latino North End and the historically African-American Northeast neighborhoods. Today, we are joined by Priscilla Brown, local artist, superstar, future urban legend, and one of the artists who participated in Horizontes. Priscilla created a beautiful mural on the back, one of the walls, the back walls of the Dunbar Theater, located on 1007 North Cleveland in the historic McAdams neighborhood. Priscilla, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, enjoying this fall weather. It is October 2021 for all the people watching the video. Well, Priscilla, I want to thank you for making some time to talk to us and to record this video and talk about your art.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. But before we get into the details of the project, tell us about yourself. Tell us about who you are. Where did you grow up? What kind of art do you do?
Well, I am a graphic designer as well as illustrator and muralist. I'm a freelance designer, of course, and I also work in the Wichita Public School. I've been working with public school for about 12 years, so I enjoy working with kids. So yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. And in the graphic design and the art that you create, the murals and the illustrations, what kind of themes do you address? What kind of illustrations do you make?
A lot of my illustrations are surrounded around hip hop and just the whole culture of hip hop and music, jazz. I just anything that's relatable to our culture. So
yeah, is that something you grew up with? Did you grow up listening to hip hop and being around hip hop culture and jazz?
Yes. I used to love watching what is it, Rhapsody and Tigger in the Basement, and a lot of Will Smith, Fresh Prince. So
yeah,
a lot of those vibrant colors incorporated in my illustration and my murals. Just things that like eye-catching. I want you to be able to look and just stop, like, whoa, what is that? Because colors catch people's attention every time. So
right. So very much a child of the 90s, huh?
Yes.
Great. Yep. So I love your illustrations. That's how I first, I think, came across your work. It was probably through social media, looking at your pages and the illustrations that you would create. I think maybe you participated maybe in the North End Urban Arts Festival at one point.
Yes, twice.
Yeah, I know we were really trying hard to find artists that were in a way outside of the Wichita mainstream, I guess, the art mainstream. And just to be more frank, just like finding, artists of color. And I was super excited when I found your work. It definitely has a signature to it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love the way that you illustrate, and it was super exciting when we came across your work. It's probably been, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years.
It's been a minute.
Ever since, I've been loving to see the evolution of your work, and it's exciting to see you now working on larger projects. You've had your hand on different public art projects here in town.
Yes, and Horizontes opened up so many doors for me to be able to even have the courage to get out there and try. Once you contacted me about doing the mural, you encouraged me to do it because I wasn't going to apply. I didn't even think that I would get a wall. But since my first mural, I've been going, working on the basketball court at McAdams and the Black Lives Matter mural and all kinds of different things that I've had the opportunity to work on. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. I mean, so let's talk about that a little bit. Like you said, I remember getting in your DMs and sending you the application to submit a proposal. what pulled you in? What made you decide, okay, I'm gonna submit something. I'm gonna come up with the sketch and submit it.
Well, I actually came up with two sketches, which and it's crazy because I said, okay, I'm gonna apply, but I'm gonna go for the smallest wall. Pretty sure I'll get that one. But then you encouraged me, like, no, go for the one at Dunbar. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I'm probably not gonna get that one. But just being able to contribute to my community and especially that building, the Dunbar Theater, that has so much history and value to our community. So just to be able to paint on that wall was an honor.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any stories from family going to the theater growing up? Anything that you can share?
Oh yes, while painting, it was crazy because it seemed like every day there was like a crowd of people coming and telling me the stories and different things and concerts they attended, James Brown, even the different businesses that surrounded the area, Oliver's drugstore and different restaurants. And like we had so much rich history and sense of community around that time. So it was it was pretty cool just hearing all the different stories from all the old schoolers. Even my grandfather and his twin brother came out and they helped me paint. And so that just meant a lot to, just kind of bring the community back together. And it was almost like a family reunion at some point. So it was cool.
That's great. There's a photograph that I have that I'll share later where there's all this whole group of people they took a photo in front of the mural with you.
Mhm.
And it's great. Like you said, all these old school people hanging out there. Uh,
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of Horizontes is meeting your grandpa there inside the
Oh, yeah.
theater. He's hanging out with his coveralls and he's got his hat and his like toothpick in his mouth and
Yeah.
just looking inside the theater. It was a
Yeah.
really sweet moment.
He attended so many concerts in that building. So it was cool for him to be able to go back in and see that we're trying to rebuild it all over again.
Yeah, it's exciting to see that, to see the investment that is going into that space.
Right.
Yeah, but tell us. So, what about the mural? How there were two designs that you submitted, and they all had specific characters, right? That you picked from pop culture. Tell us about kind of the process. As you're thinking, coming up with an idea of what to include in the design. How did you arrive to the characters that ultimately were a part of those designs?
Um, just doing little research, like I said, talking to people that were around that time. They said comedy shows and different soulful artists had come inside, and even I think that I included Hattie McDaniels, who was also an actress, famous actress from Wichita. So I just wanted to display people of color that were in the entertainment industry. So I don't know why I chose some of those people, but I knew I wanted to incorporate Hattie McDaniels because she is a legend in our community, and Richard Pryor because I heard he was here at some point and did some shows, and so I just wanted to add them and keep that black and white feel for the more traditional, but add that pop of color so it'll catch your attention.
Right. Yeah. Here's an image. I'm sharing a screen of an image of the mural here. We have Moms Mabley, Richard Pryor, and Hattie McDaniel.
Yeah.
Um, a lot a lot of people still don't know that Hattie McDaniel was actually the first African American actor to receive an Oscar, right?
Mhm.
From her performance in Gone with the Wind, playing Mammy. I mean, that's such a milestone for Black entertainers, right? I mean, the Academy, it's like the highest accolade, and when it comes to performance in the big screen, right? And a Wichita native,
Mhm.
took that decades ago, right? Definitely a trailblazer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but they finally created a marker where her house used to be, which is not far from the African American Museum. In fact, the African American Museum led the effort, and they have this plaque located where her house used to be, and that kind of tells the story her story, being a Wichita native and eventually making her way to the big screen.
Oh, that's
And I think I know that something like your mural, it's part of the many different efforts that sparked those conversations that have led eventually to something like that, right? To having a historical marker, right, that talks about our African American history here in the city. And it's really interesting because, again, I don't know if you know this part of history about the Black community in town, but the Black neighborhood used to be in the downtown area where the African American Museum is. That was, right, the Black neighborhood before people were displaced to what it's now known as Northeast Wichita. Yeah, so that was a really cool thing to learn in the process of us digging up research and then meeting all these different people in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was really great. I remember there was a couple times where I would go and check in on the artist and I would check on you. And there was this man that would live in the house behind the theater.
Oh, yes.
And like he would sit there on the porch.
Every time I come out, he come out on this porch and he wouldn't go in until the sun went down and I was packing up. It's almost like he was my bodyguard.
That's awesome. I feel like those are those moments that really make those murals special, right? For us as artists to have those connections.
After the mural, I even started going by and checking on him, just make sure he was okay. So I made a friend through that process.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us more about just the production itself? I mean, like you said, was this the first mural you painted?
This was the first mural that size I've ever painted.
Wow. Okay.
Large scale mural, and I learned some valuable lessons. Like I know I worried you to death. Like I feel like I'm moving slower than everyone else. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But I learned about projecting. I felt like I was working harder because I wasn't projecting. I was freehanding everything, which is nothing wrong with that, but I feel like it could have gone along faster if I would have known about projecting my image on the wall. So yeah, I've learned on more large scale projects, it's easier to project.
Yeah. There's a debate out there. There's some artists that, they're like, oh, you're cheating because you're projecting. And then some artists are like, it's the same, it's making it easier.
Yeah, hey, I'm not hating on however you get it done,
That's right.
But that's the first time I'd ever heard of anyone doing that. So that was pretty cool. And also using spray paint. That's the first time I started using spray paint because it spreads and you can get it, you fill in spaces faster as well. So I learned a lot.
How was that working with spray paint for the first time using a can versus a brush?
So I've watched a lot of people do it. So I'm thinking, just go get a can, go for it. But I didn't know the different caps that you could use, to get wide or more small, precise lines and things like that. So it's been a learning process, the more murals I do, but that was the first step of learning, you can use more than just paint.
Right. I mean, there's a learning lesson there with the tips, right? Those tips, the caps on the cans really become a brush, right? Like you said, there's different styles, there's different sizes. They give you a thicker, a thinner line,
or more of a splat look. Some that are more for blending your colors. So I learned a lot.
So that's really impressive, though, that what you were able to do for the first time using a can. I mean, if anything, it speaks to your talent, quite frankly.
Thank you. So now I look at it and I'm like, man, what was I doing? Now that I drove past it, I'm like, man, what was I doing? But I do appreciate that, the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there people that were helping you out that they would come out and paint? Who were some of those people that came
Yes,
out?
Paris, I don't remember last name.
Cunningham, Paris
Yes,
Cunningham.
Cunningham, yes, she helped out a lot. As far as filling in the colors, the patterns in the background. And Victoria Nero, my cousin,
Nice.
she was attending, I think she was attending Northeast Magnet at the time. A photographer, she would do a lot more photography, but she came out and donated her time as well. So, and then my mom, of course, my mom, she wanted to be like, I just want to be able to say that I did this little triangle here. My grandfather is, he did the same, but Paris and Victoria helped me out a lot.
Right. So it really became a family affair, getting your people out
It
there.
did. It did. Paris became family after that because she spent so much time out there with me.
Isn't that true though? I think that's something that I've through this project, I mean, I feel like I had really the privilege to spend a lot of time with a lot of the artists who participated. And I truly feel like my family just expanded right here. I mean, I don't have any blood family here in Wichita, right? I'm the only one here. But I certainly feel like my chosen family.
Well, you are my brother, so I know I bug you every chance I get. And if I,
Hey, that's what
Lucas will
family's
call
for.
Mondo and ask, he knows.
That's what family's for. I really do feel that way though. I really do feel like my family expanded, and it's great to every time I run into people, especially after this last year and a half. It's been really great to run into people and to see people face to face. It's been a treat. Going out to your event, Blackout ICT at Wave, that was dope, just seeing all the different artists participating, the performers. Tell us about that event. What's going on with Blackout ICT?
Blackout, it originally started with just showcasing different African American artists in the city. Because to be honest, a lot of our art is not going to make it downtown in the galleries. And I know a lot of people try to have little showcases around where, you put your art out on the table. And I just felt like we needed something a little more upscale to show our work. And so that was the first one. It was really good. Then the second one I recently had in September, it wasn't just African American artists. I had Asian, Hispanic, everybody, and we just all kind of came together, and we all had the same vibe as far as urban art, graffiti, yeah, just everything. And a lot of people, they paint like hip hop artists and things like that. Most stuff, like I said, it's not going to be showcased in one of the high-end galleries here. So just to give other people an opportunity to showcase their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be free to express themselves the way they want.
Without the constraints of like maybe a stuffier, a space a little more stuffy, right?
It's like little landscape here or this here. No. We just
Yeah,
opened up. Just be free to express yourself, paint whatever you want.
absolutely. Something that I really appreciated about Blackout ICT, especially the second round, what's the range of products that were available. There were people that were selling original clothing with screen printing, like art prints that are then put into t-shirts. Yeah. There were postcards, there were prints, there was original art, there was graffiti going on, there was graffiti that you can take home. Even some of the graffiti writers were doing some more 3D type of work. So it was great to, as I follow a lot of those artists that were there. I follow them on social media, and you see their work online. But to have the chance to see it in person, and then to see new work that I haven't seen before, that they haven't posted about, that's a treat. Like you said, I mean, you're providing a platform for them also to be challenged and to step it up, quite frankly.
And I love the fact that it seems like every time I throw one, I get another new artist come say, hey, I like to paint, check me out, maybe next time, So I love to meet new artists and give them a chance to, hey, come bring your stuff,
Right. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty connected in the art scene here in town, but Blackout always has people that I haven't seen before, right? There was this artist from, I believe, Houston. She's from Houston, or maybe Dallas, from Texas, and she's living here now, and her work is amazing.
She's phenomenal. I thought I was the only chick that liked to paint because I love playing in black and white. I don't know why I always go to black and white. And when we were first connected, we like to paint, hip hop artists. So it's like I met a sister. Like I didn't know another chick like to paint like, the same style I do. So we connected from there. She is amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, I love her work. It was really, really dope to see it. And then right next to her, there was this other artist, and I forget his name, forgive me, but he had also like very poppy art, a lot of Disney characters.
Cornell Steele.
Cornell, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He does a lot of pop, we call it pop art, a lot of glow in the dark and like comic book style art. He had one of Aaliyah, but it looked like it was from a comic book. It was really cool.
Yeah,
he likes vibrant colors as well as I do. So yeah.
It was dope. And there was a piece that I really wanted, but it was already sold. Somebody had already bought it online.
His work goes fast.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that's exciting too. I felt like, I know I walked out of there with some merch and some original art myself. And my sense was, as I was talking with artists, is that people were selling artwork that night.
Yeah, they were. And Cornell, you also gave him an opportunity as far as putting him in the North End Art Festival. So we all kind of was stemming from what you started. So kudos to you.
Well, hey, like you said, sometimes you just have to do it yourself, right? Unfortunately, there's still a lot of spaces where different art expressions are not showcased or maybe not even considered as worth showcasing, right? I'm one of those kind of people that I can't wait for somebody to let me in. Like I'm impatient, right? Like I see the talent in the community and I can't wait for somebody else to make a room at the table, right? To give us a seat. And there was a turning point in my own work here where I decided, you know what, like it's time to build our own table, for us to do this kind of work. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's taxing, as you know.
You're going to get a lot of no's.
You get a lot of no's, but ultimately you get to say yes to a lot of people. And that's really gratifying, right? And like you said, to see the work that we were doing years ago with the North End Urban Arts Fest, eventually leading to the work with Horizontes, and then to see every single artist that participated in Horizontes spinning off and doing their own work, it's super exciting. So tell us about that. How has Horizontes impacted your work in any way, in any positive way? And if so, how?
Horizontes, again, gave me the courage to display my art because I would have just been on social media. So if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen, hey, people really do like your style. There is a place for you. So after that, that's opened up so many doors because I made many connections with other people. Because like I said, I think I did the Horizontes, the North End Festival twice. So by building those connections with other people, other vendors and things like that, I was able to, flourish and do different things.
That's amazing. I couldn't, that's it, right? If that's what the project was able to do and to inspire, I feel like our work is done, right? For all of you to find the courage to put yourself out there and to be proud. what are people saying about your artwork when people come and talk to you? What are they saying? What does your art mean to people? What have they shared with you?
I've heard a lot of young people say, you making me love art again. It's relatable a lot of times. Just recently, I like still to this day, I have a gallery right now showing at French University. And she said, this is almost like the first time I've had students stop and just sit and look at the work in the gallery. But that's because this is a style that they can relate to. It's I still try to keep the traditional classic feel with the black and white, but
Yeah.
I add a little graffiti in different shapes, and I exaggerate some of the features. That's just my thing. Just to paint things that we can relate to.
How does that make you feel to hear the gallery director say, this is one of the first times the students stopped to look at the art? How does that make you feel?
That made me feel really good. It made me want to keep going. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, you feel like, where I want to go, I don't think I'll be noticed, or I'll be given that opportunity. But to show that people are like, hey, this is really good stuff. There's people that want to see more of this. It gives me the courage to keep going.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you should keep going because you are super talented.
Thank you.
And people do look up to you. People definitely, like I said, you have a recognizable style. And let me tell you, just from, again, talking from different artists, and I'm sure you've heard the same thing, it can be difficult to kind of find the style to call your own, right? And people have definitely picked up on yours.
Yeah, it's crazy because I didn't even notice I had a style until I had someone say, aren't you the one that did the mural on the side of the building on Hillside? Or, they'll point out some, like, I saw a pic that you did. I was like, how did you know that was me? Like, you can even see my signature. But that's when like, hey, you got something going. See.
That's right. So where else can people find your murals in town? Tell us about some of them that you're really proud of.
I'm really proud of the basketball court at McAdams Park. I love that court, and just to see kids on the court in the summertime, man, it makes it all worth it. So I love the basketball court. We just completed a mural at the Maya Angelou Library. That is one of my new faves. Go check it out. It's on 21st and Hillside.
In Hillside, yeah.
Yeah, 21st and Hillside. So those are my two favorites right now. Oh, and the Black Lives Matter mural as well.
Yeah, the McAdams mural, the one on the basketball court, that one's just amazing. It's so big, it's so bright, and you're right. In the summertime, it's just like this jewel that shines with the sunlight. It's beautiful.
I can totally give you that, which I was going for, the more East Coast feel, like you're in New York or a big city, in an urban area. It just gives you that whole feel.
Yeah, totally. How was that process painting that mural? How long did it take you all to work on that project specifically?
I believe that took maybe 2 weeks. It was a community project, so we had people come out. We laid out the spots and marked it where they could come out and paint. But the cleanup is usually always the hardest work. So
yeah.
We took a week for cleanup, but for like 3 days, we had to where people come out and just roll a little area so they could say, hey, I did this, Well, it took maybe, I'd say 2 weeks.
Yeah, right on. It's a super cool project. I'm excited that happened. I remember having a conversation with the Vice Mayor Brendan Johnson, about something like that. It's like, what can we do in McAdams? Maybe we can paint the bathrooms. Maybe we can paint the basketball courts. Just planting the seed, right? Mm-hmm. Just like like, what if we painted something on the Dunbar Theater? What if? Just plant the seed, and then if you say it to the right people, right? They'll stick with it, and eventually it'll happen. And I feel like that's what happened with the basketball courts.
Yeah. So that is one of my favorites. Like I said, just to see the kids come out and be able to enjoy it every summer.
Yeah. So there's recently it was announced that there's, I believe, an $11 million investment happening at McAdams Park. They're gonna rename it Carl Brewer Community Center, I believe.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, and they're gonna, I believe it's $11 million they're gonna invest in that project. And that's huge, right? And I again, in thinking about the role that the arts can play in bringing attention to specific parts of a community that really need investment. I want to give you and Quintus and everyone that participated in that project credit for being a part again of the people that are constantly looking at improving your community. I see those basketball courts being painted as a way for all of you to show people what is possible, right? You show elected officials, you show those kids that help you out, the community members that come out to help you, you show them that you can have beautiful things in your neighborhood, that you are worth the investment, that you are worth, having something to be proud of. And again, now there's $11 million that are going to be invested in that community. And that's huge.
Yes, it is. I hope we get a chance to add some more even like statues or just different things to represent our community. Because I believe art is important. Art is life. It brings life to a community. Just back to the wall, or the other different murals that you allowed to be painted in the area. It adds life, it adds, color, to a dying neighborhood. There's not much in that but abandoned buildings. But when you add color, it brings so much life to it.
Absolutely.
Community.
So. Definitely. I mean, it's also exciting to see, going back to McAdams Park, the local artist Ella Backus also has some artwork there right at the north end with the baseball. Yeah, with Jackie Robinson, right? There's the bronze sculpture. He did this beautiful illustrations that are on there, kind of telling the story. She even included artwork and the cross walk. It's like this baseball bat and like a basketball. So it's exciting to see African American and Black artists being involved in these projects. I'm sure that as things continue to move forward with the McAdams Community Center renovation, I have no doubt that you all are going to be involved with it some way.
I hope so.
We're going to put it out there. We're going to put it out into the universe.
All right. Seems like it works when you put it out there. Let's go. Let's go.
That's right. Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to see all of that work and to see all of you continue to grow and to participate. So Taylor, what's going on? Do you just finish a project, right, at Maya Angelou Library? How did that come about? Didn't you have some participation from some youth as well, like an organization?
Yes, I was contacted by the Real Men, Real Heroes organization. It's a mentorship for young men in the predominantly urban north side. And so a few of them came out for a week and they helped paint a few of the areas, that was pretty cool because now they have something to take pride in every time they drive past the library. So just be able to have those conversations with the young men, like, who is Maya Angelou? What does this mural mean to you? That you're going to be putting this here, and your kids could possibly, if it's still there, drive by and you'd be like, "Yay, I did that."
Exactly. And there's something that there's a couple of things about that. One is that mural, it's on city property, right? It's on the library.
Yeah.
Which means that now it's part of the City of Wichita Public Art Collection. So what that means is they're gonna, it's gonna be there for a very long time, right? If at one point in 20 years it starts to fade a little or maybe starts to peel off, it means that they're gonna renovate it. That there's gonna be money set aside so they can renovate it, restore it, and so that it can continue to be there for a very long time. So congratulations on that. I mean, that's a piece of artwork that you'll created that is going to have a long life here in the city. And the other piece that I think is really interesting as we're talking, I'm realizing that there's so many pieces of art that have been created in Northeast Wichita that have had community engagement. I mean, I'm thinking about that one that you just finished, Maya Angelou. We're thinking of the McAdams basketball courts. You had people involved in that. Ella did the art around Jackie Robinson's park, right? And there was involvement from Louverture Elementary. She also led the artwork that was created all along 9th Street when they renovated that. And she had kids from different schools help out in creating that work. Sarah McAdams, she was going to schools. I'm thinking about even the mural at the Dunbar Theater. You had community people show up and help a little bit. So all of those are community art projects, public art projects that have touched so many kids in the neighborhood. And that is so invaluable. I mean, I'm just thinking about all of those kids now have been touched by a piece of art that reflects who they are, that reflects their culture. And like, I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about that,
Yeah.
That is just incredible. So again, I'm so proud of all the work that you all have been doing and doing it with so much love and so much care for the community. I think that the work speaks for itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I love being able to contribute to my community. I believe the next step is I really feel like our style and our representation shouldn't just be in our area. Like there's only so much we can do. I feel like there should be some representation in the downtown area. I don't feel like I want to just hoard all that, on the north side. I want to be able to spread some of that downtown, So I want to see some of our art represented on those buildings in the art district.
I agree. It's starting to happen, right? There's Quintus has got a mural down at the Chain Lane Gallery place, right? And so it's starting to happen. And I agree with you. I think that we are much bigger than the areas that we have been confined to. Because ultimately the reason, we have stayed in a lot, why we're kind of congregated in those neighborhoods is because of, kind of terrible archaic laws of segregation, right? They kept us in those spaces. Yeah. So I agree. I think I call it walking and chewing gum at the same time, right? Like we can focus on our communities and our neighborhoods and create an art, but we can also expand from there and take our beauty to the rest of the world, right?
Right. So this is, it's happening. I'm seeing it, we're evolving. Like you said, with Quintus's mural, that's a step forward. Just be able to, for people to feel like their art can be represented in that area, not feeling like you have to paint the same thing or stay in a certain box, but you'll have the freedom to paint your style,
Well, just know that you're a trailblazer here, and you have a lot of kids that are going to be looking up to you. So
thank you. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing as many new young artists come out. I'm getting old.
Great. Well, Priscilla, what's in your future? What's in your horizon? What's coming up for you? Anything you're cooking?
I have a few things cooking. I'm taking a break from murals just for a little while to be able to, rebuild my personal collection. I have a lot of people just like, do you have any art for sale, or what are you doing? I haven't really had time to really just sit and build a whole new collection. So I'm taking some time for Priscilla.
That's great. That's good. You gotta keep that nurturing time.
But I'm excited. I haven't been able to just actually sit and just create in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's exciting. I'm sure you'll let us know. I saw your book through Storytime Village, right? You have with
Yeah,
Prescott. There's
yeah,
you've done illustrations with children's books as well.
yeah. I've been doing a few illustrations. I even had a coloring book that I had out. I didn't expect it to do as well as it did. It was really just for my kids at school. You know,
Wow.
it was called "What to Do in a Pandemic." So it was for like, what did you do while you were at home? So I just drew different little illustrations and I put it on Facebook. And after that, it just kind of blew up. I didn't expect it, but that was pretty cool.
That's
Illustrating
amazing.
is my passion. I love to illustrate.
Yeah, and it shows because you're so good at it. That's exciting. See, a woman of many talents. Priscilla. Well, Priscilla, I think we're coming to the end of our time here. Again, I just want to thank you, one for being so generous in giving to the community and in letting us all enjoy your artwork, and also thank you for making this time to visit with us briefly and kind of get to know Priscilla, the artist, a little more. So again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you again for having me. Thanks for encouraging me to push past my fears and my comfort zone and actually try. So I appreciate you a lot. I really do.
That's my forte. I push people. Well, if people want to find you, where can they find you on social media?
Or you can find me on Instagram at Domesick Creations, and it's the same on Facebook. Domesick Creations with a Z.
With the Z. Perfect. Great. Well, if anyone wants to follow the work of Horizontes, you can also find us on Instagram, horizontes.project, or you can go to www.horizontes-project.com. And yes, again, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you, Priscilla. Until next time.